Good morning.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the Jason and Esther show.
Oh, it's a show,
It's a show.
baby.
Coffee and Convo, where
Yes, it is.
Yes. Obviously, if you watch some, we like to talk about kingdom, identity,
Life, thriving,
influence,
who you are,
and family relationships.
Yes,
all that great
all
stuff.
the things. So, what did you call it today, babe?
What are your dreams and desires? That's off of your thought this morning.
Dreams and desires.
We are going with that dreamer.
Did you not put a question with it?
Yes.
That
is a question. What are your thoughts and desires?
Wow. It's a day, guys. It's
Cheers,
a day.
guys. Cheers. Babe, you're amazing.
Yes.
You're beautiful. I love you.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of planking today.
Oh, clanking. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Anyway, say hi. How are you? Are you watching live? Are you watching replay? Let us know where you're watching from. All the things we always love to see who you are and where you're watching from. And thank you for joining us. And yes.
No, sorry.
Dreams and desires, right?
And the second question was, do they have kingdom value?
Yes. Do they have kingdom value? Yes. 100% yes.
Do they?
That would be my answer.
So, where do you want to start there? So, like some of us, we all have desires, we all have dreams. Some of us are not as that much of as dreamers as other
in personality.
In personality,
yes.
So why don't you
Which would be you, and like they don't think of like a big picture type of dreaming, right? Or ideas or whatever.
Right.
I am the opposite. I am the dreamer and the idea person. Sometimes I have 1,000, right? It drives me nuts sometimes. if I vocalize them all the time, I shouldn't do that. But in here. But dreams and desires, like I just believe that there's something inside of you that is authentically who you are, right? So even when you think back of when you were young and there were certain things like maybe you always liked to live life big, or maybe you always wanted to be alone, and or maybe you always dreamt of caring for people, as in you were always playing mom or dad or whatever. Like even in those young things you can see certain things that you have no idea, right? You're just a young person, but it's like authentically who you are, right?
So you want to push into kind of the innate desires, the natural desires.
Yeah, the natural things of like, did you always want to be in front of big groups of people, or always wanted to be the attention, the spotlight? Spotlight?
No, thank you.
And then like when you... Anyway, maybe that's for another show.
No, go ahead.
Just have an idea. So, okay, I am, obviously, as you can hear by the passion in my voice, I am the dreamer and the big, I think big, I see it big, and I want to, my life to have an impact by the things I say and do, change other people's lives, and as many as possible, and together I want to change the world, right? Well, that sounds all awesome, right? So I want to be known, seen, and recognized. So as a little kid, that was like, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be in the Olympics when I was doing gymnastics. When I was doing something, I thought right away of what it could be. Right?
Hey, Nikki. Hey, Roland.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Where for someone like him, that would be like, no, I don't want to be seen. I want to live under a rock. Not necessarily.
No, I have my own set of desires.
But just the extreme.
Don't jack my desires up. Come on now.
Okay, so talk about you. You like to build things, right?
So that's the advantage of the I personality
But I
style.
never went to the idea. The idea that popped into my head was like, so that's me, and then God brings this person into my life that's the total opposite of me, right? And and it's like, so okay, he doesn't want to live under a rock. That's not what I mean. But he's private. I'm very open. I'm very blah blah blah. I'll say it before.
Yeah, but that's not your desire necessarily.
No.
The desire is that impact, that recognition, the ability to influence and lead people.
Right.
Right.
But then how do you marry those things together, right? Anyway, that's what I'm saying. That might be for another show.
That might be that is for another show. We'll save that for the relationship side of stuff.
What were your...
Well, yeah, just helping you guys recognize, where you're coming from, where your desires are. You hear a lot all the time, just in life, always needing to change to fit what's going to be successful, what's right, looking at weaknesses, limitations, blah, blah, instead of embracing the strengths, the natural desires, and the natural tendencies that you bring, number one. Then number two, if you shift into church and Christianity, then we're always scared that, it's of the flesh, or it's opposed to Father God, and it's a distraction, and taking us away from destiny and all that stuff. And so of course we believe that, hey, part of your wiring, however you believe personality comes about, growing up in a certain birth order and with a certain family and circumstances and all that stuff, Father decided for you to be born into a specific family, into a specific environment. Now, obviously he didn't plan for all the negative things, but he uses it for your good, right? And so to me, it's like, you're not going to be developed. We're not saying personality is a box that you fit yourself in, but it's rather things that are measured because of your life journey. You approach things a certain way. And so I believe that growing up, or even before you knew Father, that's being developed. So that's part of your natural tendency and things. And so he's going to utilize that. And to embrace who you are, not look at seeing I'm broken, I need to fix things. No, look at the greatness, because you carry greatness. We each carry these different greatnesses, and let's show up with those and unique styles.
For me, really believing, where we say it all the time, right? God is for you, right? He is not against you. We say that all the time, right? It's like a catchphrase. Or he makes all things work for your good. For me, it really was come to that knowledge, right? Knowing it in here, really believing that he's for me and that he makes all things, not just externally, not just things that are happening in my life, right? That when something negative happens, he can turn it for good. Yeah, I know that. But really all things, like who I am, spirit, soul, and body, the way he created me in his image and his likeness, that is for me. It's for me. It is for good, to bring good. So then, when you grow up and you feel like you have to work on the things that you are not, then you're actually not walking in your true identity, your true personality. Now, don't get me wrong, there is balance to things. That's why I believe I have him.
And sometimes circumstances try to lock you into something. And that's actually what we want to help you push through, is whether circumstances or people are saying, that's not good enough, or shut that down, or quiet down a little bit, or don't be recognized because it's pride. Why should you have a desire to be recognized? Shut that down. And so you limit that part. We want to help awaken that natural, innate desire and tendency for you, and how you show up and how you express the heart of Father God, his face, his goodness, and the solutions you bring, the way you show up to serve the world in relationship with him, right? So,
and even maybe you didn't necessarily have a person saying like, I don't believe in you, or whatever.
No, but that's
no, but I'm saying, But even when you were touching on like in Christianity, right, and religion, you also always believe that it couldn't be worldly, right? You couldn't have worldly desires. So what is that then, right? Inside of me that I want to one day stand in front of, bunch of people and be this voice and this sound, and it's going to change. So it only needs to look in a certain way, right? Or if somebody has desire, why are you laughing?
See, as natural communicators, advancers, sometimes they'll pick up on phrases and words. Anyway, go ahead, that they like to use. So I'm like,
oh, did I say right?
You said right like 10 times.
This week, right is my word. So I say right a lot. Last week and 2 weeks ago, it was 100% right. 100% and said, first of all, it's not 100%, it is 100%. That's the accurate. And before that, it was something else.
What's up,
anyway,
Jody? How's it going?
When I see that smoke, I'm like, oh, okay, I said it too many times.
And that's the difference between a person born to communicate and advance things and someone who like thinks a lot about what they're going to say before they say it. But go ahead.
But maybe your desire is for there not to be lack, and therefore you always desired or had ideas that would make money or would open doors for resources, or maybe you've always been resourceful. Maybe you just wanted to have a family and you just wanted to raise kids and you always wanted to be the best mom or dad that there is, and just having a family, right? And
so now you're actually even taking it up another level.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing, right? Or no?
So,
or I'm going in another direction.
No, well,
I'm trying to say, like, I can talk from my experience, right? But that might not be your desire or your dream. But I'm saying, like, as a person that is not does not want to be in front of people or in the spotlight, and that there's value and that came from Father, right? I don't know how to say it, but I heard it sometime that the word desire even means, if you break it down, from the Father.
So D is from and sire is to father. And so, the root is from Father. And so if we are created, the very foundation of humanity is from Father. Everything was from Father. Now, don't get me wrong, there's different value systems and influences that can come in that can throw you off. But to remove a lot of that and get back and say, hey, a lot of my foundational desires are actually because as humanity, we were plugged into Father. We were created to know Him and be known by Him, to love Him and be loved by Him. Whether I knew that or not, He loved me ahead of time before I shifted. I was created in His image, even though mankind forgot who they were and who He was. And so going back and saying, actually, you're still from the heart of Father in light of that. And so desire from Father, or to, come from a Father, be sired, be produced from Father.
And it starts with, who do you really believe He is, right? And that comes with whatever you were taught.
And we touched on that. We touched on that last week.
Right. And so that's where it starts as the foundation. But as you have revelations about who the Father is, right, for sure you are going to have to see yourself the way He sees you, right? And that comes with everything. Okay. That comes with the desires that you've had since you were little. And maybe you have to dig a little bit. Maybe you have to ask yourself certain questions to find out, or maybe you didn't even ask yourself them. Maybe you don't think about those things, right? But to know that, I'm losing my track.
Yeah. Well,
to know that is the Father put that there. And that it all works together. Your personality, the way you think and learn, the way your brain. I mean, it is really,
My communicator. Let's
go ahead.
We were supposed to talk.
Cheers, guys. Take over.
But what we want to help is, we talked about what are some natural desires or tendencies from you that you have, but we didn't like talk about anybody else. And so we want
I took it up another level.
Yeah, you ran off before anybody else could recognize and say.
Go there, babe. Talk about yourself.
Yeah, no. So some of you are these creators, these deep personality styles. So you have this desire to accomplish things. You have this natural born visionary approach, right? So where you have the advancers and the I's, they're a lot of ideas, and they like to
What's up, Jody? I see you.
They like to be recognized, and they want to be able to influence people and motivate people and encourage people and create, experiences where people buy in and say, yes, let's go. They create that kind of connection to an idea, to an enthusiasm.
Go back to the D. We already talked
yes.
I'm just saying, we get stuck on me.
The creators, they are seeing the vision. They're looking at an empty field and seeing the shopping mall that could come in, the apartment complexes. They're saying, let's create movement, let's create action, let's create results. And so their desire is to see results. Their desire is to see things happen. Their desire is to make a way through a problem, through a challenging situation, to create a path to accomplish something and to build something.
And listen, and that is from Father, because nothing in this world would ever happen if those people, without their determination to keep going for the goal that they saw, right? And to keep trying, whether they change it 50 times, but they keep getting the result that they seen, right? The visionary, that they know is possible. Don't tell them ever that it's not possible, right? I have a child like that, and he is going to figure it out. And don't tell him that it's not possible. Like, even me as a parent, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work, right? There's been several things. I can't think of a specific example, but he has a determination that he knows it can work, and he will figure it out. And he'll stick to it. He'll try different things, right? And those things, oh my word, it's amazing when you have that.
If you're a creator, that part of your desire to see results, to see things happen, to see things accomplished, to see action being taken, that's part of your strength. That's awesome. Right. You know, if you're like, hey, I have a bunch of ideas, I want to motivate people in those ideas, that's awesome. Then there's some who are refiners. That's who I am. They're the C, and it's like, we want to create accuracy. We want to gather, create processes and systems. We want to bring...
To see the result, they like also to see
information.
But to actually tangibly, right? Practically, tangibly put something into place so that we actually can build out what the D's and I's are all talking about, right? And to bring change or impact with excellence. Do it right. Do it well, right? And
do it right? But
doing things well, right, Nikki? Yes, brother. But to do your value, his value.
You keep taking over my conversation.
Because listen, he will talk about himself for 20 seconds and then he'll move on, right? But you people that are like him need to also know how that works. So, not that you were done yet. No. I did interrupt. I'm so sorry.
So as you see, I'm very systematic. Refiners are systematic in building processes and looking to do things in order. So,
but the value that you put on that, I don't always understand that. But that was something placed inside of him, because literally, if you don't have this person in your team, in your business, in your ministry, and see the value, right? You can have the person, but if you don't see the value of it and you're not using it,
remember, we are helping each individual recognize the
value
of themselves.
About yourself.
Yes.
But I'm admitting, right? I'm admitting that, if you don't see that, in marriage or whatever. But the value that has, right? If you are that refiner, if you are that analytic person that wants to see systems in place, there's such value with that, because otherwise the things actually would not be built, and the result would actually not become, the goal will not be reached, and the result will not become a tangible something that people can actually use or develop or, yeah. Is that true? Did I say it?
So, if you're a refiner and you're motivated, you have a desire to build some structure, to bring in processes, to bring excellence, that is great.
That's awesome.
And then you have the executor, the S's, and they like to bring stability. They like to bring relationship.
Yeah.
They bring a sense of community, of family, of teamwork. They have a desire to be close, to connect, to be connected, and to do it together as a group, and to create that. And so that is an excellent piece as well, where you're looking to connect, make people feel seen and heard, to value what people are saying. And
their genuine care for people and for strong and meaningful connections. Now, they don't have to be, so these are the I's and S's are people focused, right? But they don't need to, they just need a couple people. No big hoo-ha, don't talk about me too much. I just want togetherness. I want harmony. They are peacemakers, and they are very helpful, or they see
because
the need and the problem, and they will be the first ones to.
Right, but they're looking to accomplish something, but with people, and they're saying what is needed by people, by the situation.
Yeah.
And so, we kind of went all over the place here, off on little rabbit trails, in depth on some things.
It's beautiful.
But
it's beautiful.
If you recognize yourself and say, hey, whether I had a desire to create results and to drive things forward, or to motivate people, to be seen, to be the center of attention, to create excellence and bring in systems and to stabilize things and create connection. Like, that's all awesome qualities and greatness you have. The thing to recognize now, the flip side of that is, within those desires, is to not let it stop you from moving forward. Right. And so that's where we want to encourage you. So for an advancer, it's like, well, if I feel like I'm not going to be recognized or have a voice to inspire people, then I might be missing it, and I want to fall out. Step off. If I say, well, hey, I may not be able to get things figured out or bring that process in excellence, let me just step back, because there isn't any value in that, right? That could stop you. If you say, hey, we don't quite have this team, this connection, I don't quite know what the next step is, maybe this isn't for me, well, that can stop you from stepping into an opportunity that's for you. And so, or you could say, well, there's not quick action, I'm not able to make decisions quickly and just, drive things forward. This is a broken cause.
Or see the result quick enough, right?
Those are all your strengths and greatness you bring, and please keep bringing those desires, operating those desires, because you are a gift to the world. Yeah. But just realize, if there's certain situations and opportunities that your reaction or your first thought would be, well, it's not for me, it's not good enough, it's not going anywhere. And so you may have to just take a moment and double check and say, yes, this is a valid desire. I can have kingdom impact because I influence and inspire people, or whatever it is. But in this moment, because I need to figure something out, or I'm going through a process internally that feels like I'm alone, maybe I'm not actually alone, right? And so let me keep pushing through this.
Everyone is going to go through that, right? Because that's just how life is. And probably the people that know you the best, right, and love you the most, family, friends, and the like, they're in your journey just because they're not you. And so the greatness that is inside of you, that Father has planned for you to bring to the world to be the light and the salt, right? That's not necessarily in them. So there are going to be times where you feel that, right? But that's where you need to always go back to the foundation of knowing who Father is, and therefore knowing who you are authentically. That those things are inside of you because they are for your good, and they are for you, and they come from Father. And to be confident in that, and to walk that out, and to not give up on those things that you know come from here, right? And that are not wrong, that are not evil, that are not... that they have value, and that is who you're called to be, right?
So if you can have that confidence that those desires are not broken, they're not evil, they're not distractions, and give yourself to that, to show up and to not only live more fully in who He made you to be in relationship with Father God, but also serve the world more fully with that style, with that greatness that you carry, and recognize, hey, some of those innate desires, or a lot of those innate desires are actually part of the way that I'm here to impact the world, to impact other people, and to bring greatness.
And we were never called to do it alone, right? And that is, if you need help in your relationships, in business, with your teams, or in your marriage, or with your parenting, right? Because of those personalities, because of the way you are wired and the people around you are wired. If you need help with that, come to us. That is something we are experts in, especially my husband. And we bring that, right? We help people see that about themselves, and then understand how you need to show up and how you can be that awesome, amazing person, but also communicate and come. You want to add? I thought you just
not how you need to be, but build confidence in who you are. We want you to confidently, just show up in who you are, knowing that, so that you are generating in your style.
And maybe you don't know that about yourself, right? Maybe you need help to figure that out, right? There are very tangible, easy things to figure that out. So let us know if you need help with that. Yes. We can definitely help you with that, and call out the greatness that is inside of you, because there is greatness inside.
You guys are amazing.
Yes.
You're amazing. My talker, communicator. Because
guys.
And we all need each other, because if you wait on me to inspire and excite you like that, you would not get it. You would get a bunch of information and facts.
I said
that's what you get.
Baby, that's so exciting. Are you excited?
Short
and
and to
he'll
the
look
point.
at me and he's like, not sure.
And so together,
excitement is an emotion.
Together we have a great expression of Father's heart to the world, and we bring solutions and we bring ideas. And so
thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Let us know if you have questions. Always in the comments. We will answer you. And join us next week.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.